How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Wolf, and welcome to another League Starter. This is one I built for someone in my Discord. There is a channel in my Discord, I'll show you this very quickly, where you can get a League Starter crafted for you. You just need to tell me what you want done, and I can make one for you, or perhaps one of my mods could make one for you as well. That will be on for pretty much most leagues from here forward. But yeah, he wanted a Tectonic Slam Chieftain / Juggernaut, but I figured that's a little bit too mainstream, so let's mess around a little bit, and I ended up on Berserker. So, character has pretty decent DPS, but the problem that I was having with Path of Building is it actually doesn't show its AoE radius for whatever the fuck reason. So, when we get in game, and if I ever actually play this character, I'll be optimizing for probably more AoE. I've left out a decent amount in favor of just raw damage, because it's the one thing that I can scale and know what I'm getting. AoE, it's pretty easy to scale, pretty easy to achieve. I left out a couple of key nodes, such as the AoE here and one of the mace nodes, this side right here, for more AoE if you've killed recently, as well as the AoE here. I would have gone this way for 10% AoE, and the 15% AoE if you've stunned recently. That would be the only changes I would really make to the skill tree. Itemization wise, using a Tidebreaker for maximum damage, 60% fire damage necklace. You can mix and match this if you feel like doing the prophecy, and then Alliance Roar. This and this are both gettable through cards in solo self-found. This drops for me on every single character I play in any league I have played. Probably achievable. And yeah, so itemization wise, tri-res, life, what else? Melee damage gloves, probably. I mean, that's the way you optimize most characters, right? No real issue there. Don't really need to work on a weapon. We're just going to target farm the card. I don't know exactly where it drops, but I do know that the card exists and is gettable, so if you have to farm it from Delve or something, who knows? But it is achievable, and it is our end game goal, because this gives us a 6/7 link, depending on how much you really care about the character. For damage, as also gives endurance charge on melee stun, meaning you basically have constant endurance charges up, which is great for Tectonic Slam that goes and consumes endurance charges to do an empowered slam with more AoE. We also have a couple of options in regards to AoE and whatnot, because we're using Blood and Sand, right? And we can switch from Sand Stance to Blood Stance. So if we want single target, Blood Stance. We want AoE. Sand Stance. I left it in Sand because I'm going to be optimizing the character around AoE, but it's not showcasing correctly here. So the realistic damage for Blood Stance, you're looking at something like that, right? So all the people who clicked away at the start because they thought its DPS was too low because it didn't break 5 million. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So into the skill tree, this is what it's all looking like. I'll kind of angle it around my face cam for you. Pretty simple. So just to go over it quickly, life, 2-handed damage, life, res tech so we don't miss, mace nodes. This gives you Culling Strike on stunned enemies, or hits that stun have Culling Strike, which is basically Culling Strike on every piece of trash in the fucking game. Life regen per endurance charge, we have like 7 or 8. Could potentially go Chieftain if you want one more. They added in that node. They also have Nagami's Flame Advance and, you know, Ramako's Sunlight. So Chieftain is a very good option as well, but I'm a hipster. Yeah. Life with max res, you can cut that and go here if you want to. I should probably pick up Constitution and drop a damage node somewhere if I want to be kind of realistic, but grab chance to gain endurance charge on kill and ink damage per charge. Decent, gives you 1 minimum charge. That actually doesn't work with Tectonic Slam the way you're thinking, because it doesn't work like that with Flicker Strike, so it doesn't work that way, sadly. But kind of cool if it did, though. Life, possible Jewel Socket if you care. Endurance charge, Rampart for Fortify and flat damage. You can alternatively like cut that if you want to. You can also go Executioner if you want AoE. If AoE, when we actually play the character, and we can figure out how AoE scales and how well it scales. Lava Lash is just good damage. Battle Cry is instant war cries, which is basically required to have a decent mental state. Kinetic Impacts for very good damage with chance to deal double damage, which sadly got removed off Berserker, which makes me sad because it used to be so nice, having like 24% chance to deal double damage and kill everything. But, you know, Yeah, mace cluster, endurance charge, life, LE damage, LE damage. Make sure to only grab these because we're using Avatar Fire. Take the other half of my Fizz conversion, which means that only these ones work. The added Fizz is extra lightning does literally nothing because we don't do non-fire damage. Yeah, so don't get cucked by taking these extra nodes or any like Fizz is extra like lightning or that sort of shit. If you wind up with gear that uses that, you can alternatively drop that, respec to Chieftain, you'll get more mileage. That allows you to use like Fizz's extra necklaces, Fizz's extra rings, that sort of stuff. Although those are really like high-end optimization, so I don't really plan around that. Okay. Pop over here, life, damage, all res, because I am fucking lazy and it's SSF. We're going Alira for more resists because it's SSF. Divine Fervor for flat damage, it's a nice one-pointer for 80k. So, I mean, yeah. Could alternatively go for Diamond Skin if you need even more resistances. You can also path this way and pick up Constitution if you want even more life. You can cut out these 4 points that I've put here, which are just flat damage. 150k flat for, what, 4 points? Yeah, 4 points. Which could alternatively go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then, I don't know, you cut something from somewhere. Cut that, probably. And wind up with Constitution, and that gives you how much? 160 plus max, not bad. But yeah, all depends, right? Or if Delirium's really good, cut that. Get a jewel. If you end up with jewels that have, 6% max life, pretty decent. 6% max life with AoE and area damage. I rolled a jewel that had global fizz, area damage, and something else. It was like insane. I never got to use it, sadly, because I didn't make a character it was applicable on, but you can get things like that, and they're pretty fluky, but they are quite good. Then we have Serenity to allow us to get an extra aura squeezed in there. Purity of Flesh for max life. And we have Galvanic Hammer up here for just flat damage, with Avatar of Fire here. I have seen some setups that go all the way up here to get Breath of Flames and Heart of Flame and whatnot. But if you wanted to anoint for flat damage, I would go Heart of Flame, just for damage, penetrates, resists. Or you can go Breath of Flames for Fire over Time multiplier. That really makes a big difference. Anoints, if you're rich, Whispers of Doom is good, if you can afford it. Alternatively, Life Anoint, not a bad idea for Constitution to just put it there, although that probably costs a ton as well. This seems to say it's like insane, but it really isn't that like wild. But I think it's just path of building being a pile of garbage. But you know, other anoints. What are we looking for? Master Force, not bad. 103 with chance to deal double damage, puts you up to like what 8. It'd be really good if Berserker still had double damage chance, but such is life. I covered everything else in the tree, right? Pretty sure. Simple enough. Ascendancy. What are we looking at here? We have Pain Reaver to take this first to solve all of your mana problems. Try and do a 25 to 30 Azaro if possible. Get Pain Reaver. Your mana problems are basically fixed for the rest of the game. So trust me, until then you're not going to be that great off. Alira, once you get Alira, a lot of your mana problems are kind of solved. Then they start to act up again, and then you get Pain Reaver, and it solves them again. So that's the first node to take. Then we go Crave for Rage, Rite of Ruin for cannot be stunned, or else you're going to get clapped in late game. And you get a shit ton of damage off this. And then last point, we pick up Aspect of Carnage for just a massive damage bonus. So you do end up taking more DPS, or taking more damage, so evaluate if you can actually use this or not. But normally you can, and it's worth the damage taken. Okay, into the skills for optimization and setup. We're running Tech Slam, Added Fire, Melee Fizz, Illegal Attacks, Melee Focus, Pulverize. As I said, doesn't have Conk Effect. Alright, so keep in mind, I'm also retarded. That's what our actual damage should look like. Should be set for weapon 1 because we're getting free endurance charge on melee stun, right? So, extra added DPS, that's what we're actually looking at. Keep in mind an average slam of 40k kills every trash mob in the game. So, yeah. If you want to put Conk Effect on, obviously it's on an 8 link, so it's not really possible, but you get the gist. So yeah, you can cut Pulverize, put in Conk Effect instead if you just want to do as much single target as possible. That's what you're kind of looking at. Or if you want a more AoE focused one, Pulverize gives you AoE. Obviously it's Ink AoE. You can drop something here for normal area of effect, and then switch over to sand and be clearing like a screen and a half, like you're playing multi-shot Demon Hunter in Diablo 3. Should be okay. Curses, we're running Blasphemy Punishment. If you want to be extra cheeky, you can path up to Whispers of Doom. You can anoint... What is it? Anoint Charisma, or Leadership. No, not Leadership. Is it Charisma? What's it called? Yeah, Anoint Charisma. Path this extra few points here. Get Champion of the Cause and all that. Reduce your mana reserve. And then possibly put on another Blasphemy. Could happen. There's also going to be a more optimized DPS setup if you really care for late game. This is just for online curses 24/7. Blood and Sand, Herald of Ash, Herald of Purity. Flat damage with AoE. Flat damage. AoE explosions are going to shit on everything. Be pretty good. Blood Rage for Frenzy Charges. Leap Slam for Fortify and Movement. Word Chief with Cull, even though this doesn't really matter. This is more for bossing, because you're not going to be hit stunning bosses very often, so this Cull is not going to apply to bosses. So that's where this is coming in. Life Regen. You can also use a manual cast Steel Skin or a cast when Steel Skin. Immortal Call is probably a bad idea. You could use it, but it's probably going to kill you over and over, because you're going to have no endurance charges and just fucking die. If you have Tidebreaker, and it allows you to get endurance charges in like capped in one slam, you're probably going to be fine with using Immortal Call. But if you're dying a lot and it's after Immortal Call procs, that's why. So yeah. Now the optimal damage setup is to put punishment on a curse on hit leap slam setup. That will allow you to basically apply it for free. The downside is that you are using you have to take something off your leap slam unless you want like a really weird like double 6-link setup. I mean, we're using a two-hander, so I guess you can. You can put this in the weapon, obviously, then in your chest piece. You could use a combs if you want to. It's a little bit weird, but you could. It gives fire damage. Could work. Or you do like leap slam, curse on hit, punishment, fortify, faster attacks, blood magic. Could be decent. You don't really need blood magic. You could also slot in the second curse there and go for Whispers of Doom. So I'll show you what that looks like if we just slot in this plus another curse. What else does that look like? Flammability? Yeah, flammability. So we wind up with a setup that looks a little something like this. Leap slam, curse on hit, punishment. To keep in mind, you can make this level 20 with no issue. Punishment, and then flam. Punishment, flam. Get double damage bonuses from both of those, right? You see where we're going. Cut this. Now we get that aura back. We can now use that to get extra reduced reserve. I already have blood and sand, thanks though. Anger's a possibility. Hatred is a joke because it actually doesn't work because we have Avatar Fire. So the added Fizz's extra cold it gives us is not doing any damage. So haste's not bad. Vol haste passively is not bad either. Haste at 150k. Anger. Maybe they add some other auras, who knows. There's also, you could run a War Banner and what's the other one? Can I fit Pride in here? Maybe I can fit Pride. Hang on. Why is that doing? It's not scaling up DPS. I think my whole path of buildings broke, because that would work. And obviously, if we anoint correctly, like I said, if we go and pick up Champion of the Cause, we anoint correctly, we get an Enlighten in here. This is top end character, but I know some people actually care about that. Get the Enlighten, get the Pride, and then we're at 13%. We anoint whatever the hell it is. Not that you really need it at this point. Like 2 slams, you're gonna leech so much on hit, it doesn't really matter. Anoint Charisma. You're pretty much off to the races. Put in your Conk effect, turn off your Pulverize, switch stances to Blood Stance. There you go. Pride's obviously not actually scaling, so it's more like 3.5, 3.7 mil. There's your single target. And yeah, that is a setup you can use on basically any melee character if you're looking to push it farther or to the absolute top end. That's a weird setup that I saw that is actually pretty useful. Obviously, the downside is if you're mobbing and you're not leap slamming to every pack, your curse application is going to be lacking. So if you're lazy as shit like I am, maybe don't go for this setup if you're just mapping. But if you're looking for top-end boss DPS, leap slam on the boss with between, you know, bursts, right, when you get a burn phase or after mechanics, leap slam, hit the boss, and then just burn them with tech slam and just fucking pummel them, and you'll do pretty well. But yeah, that is going to be the character. Thank you guys very much for listening. Do let me know if you plan on playing it or what your thoughts on the video itself were. And as always, take care, gentlemen.